These verses are unique in that Allah Azza wa Jal is speaking to us about the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's family, the Ahl Bayt. And in particular, here, he is speaking about characteristics of the Ummahat al Mu'mineen, the mothers of the believers, the Prophet's wives. And this verse in specific is talking about a Quranic principle that's important to understand. These women are told that they would have twice the reward if they were to engage in things in an obedient mode, right? Being submissive to the divine. And then it also gives an indication that in the previous verse 30, that if they weren't to do that, there would be twice the punishment. The principle here, Quranically, is that proximity to sanctity, it creates more responsibility, not less. Does that make sense? That if you have proximity to moral authority, you have proximity to sacred spaces or sacred places, there's an increase in accountability, not a decrease. Everybody in this religion has to be able to determine for themselves how it is that they develop their own relationship with the divine. It's not a given just because you have this particular bond that means you don't have to do things in a certain way also. But for us to be able to understand what's being said here, and you think about hadith, where the Prophet ﷺ talks about Ramadan in particular, and he speaks about people who somehow experience Ramadan and they're still not forgiven. You can go to Medina, you can go to Mecca, you can go to these sanctified places, the city of Jerusalem, may Allah end the occupation and make us a generation that witnesses a free Palestine in our lifetime. But the whole idea is that if you are in Medina and you're still doing something that makes no sense, situated in one of the calmest, most tranquil places in the world, you're in Ramadan, in the last 10 nights of Ramadan, seeking Laylatul Qadr. Allah brought you here already. The idea is a heightened responsibility. A day that's worth 1,000 months, Laylatul Qadr, also means that you want to avoid things that make no sense to do on a night that would be worth 1,000 months. The same way a dua or dhikr or charity or volunteerism or a sajda or a ruku' or any recitation of Quran or a smile that's a charity or an act of kindness has the opportunity to be multiplied by over a decade's worth of worship. What would it say about the state of my inner self if on the night of Qadr I claim to seek it out and I'm still gossiping? I'm still being racist. I'm still being unkind. I'm still telling lies. So understanding from this verse in Surah Al-Ahzab, a Quranic principle is being outlined, that there's twice the punishment or twice the reward because the proximity to sanctity, it increases responsibility. It doesn't mean that I shy away from embracing capacity, but I have to be able to understand and recognize that I play a role in the writing of my own book, and where and how I can understand in certain places, with certain people, in certain times, there's unique barakah, and it's still telling me about the nature of my own self. We go for Umrah every year as a community. This year we're going April 3rd to April 12th, inshallah. And there was a year that we went to Medina and it was just beyond calm. How many of you have ever been to Medina before? It's a tranquil place. I started an Umrah trip with our community probably about 20 years ago now because I love going to Medina and I just wanted to go to Medina every year. I named my daughter Medina. That's how much I love Medina. There was a night I was standing outside of the Prophet's Masjid, had just exited the Rauda. The moon was shining very full. In the same way there was children running around in our space, there were kids running around in the courtyard outside of the green dome in front of the Rauda. It's about 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. There's still a darkness that's there until maybe an hour or two later, some bursts of light will start to strike against the sun, the horizon, right? Rabb al-Falaq, where this young girl is laughing and skipping and jumping around. Her father slowly starts to walk towards her. And then all of a sudden, he just slaps her across the face. How can you do that? Let alone in any part of the world, it's obscene. لم يضرب رسول الله امرأة ولا غلاما ولا ولدا قط. The messenger of God never struck a woman or a servant or a child ever. But you are in Medina in the late hours of the night when the angels descend to see who is asking Allah for forgiveness. Standing in the courtyard of the original confines of the city, in front of you is where the Prophet ﷺ is buried. And your heart still has the ability to engage in this type of atrocity. How can responsibility not be heightened in a place like that? Do you see? And when you're experiencing these nights, you want to think about them not just in terms of what I was saying yesterday, a separation of devotional life from moral and intellectual life. That the Quran, it's meant to produce a certain kind of human. That's not the kind of human it's supposed to produce, right? But also for us, on the night of Qadr, it's not supposed to produce within us a laxity about just speaking whatever comes to mind, blurting things out with insensitivity of how it might be received by the other, or even worse, speaking to ourselves in a degrading way. When you have proximity to sanctity, it's supposed to increase responsibility. That's what the verse is saying. And so you think just as much as the potential for ajr is exponential, do you want to have on a night that's worth 1,000 months written down that you were condescending or arrogant to someone? That you look down at someone because of their race, their class, their gender? The answer should be no, right? And the balance between the two becomes important. If we move now to the 35th verse of the same chapter, in between, there's kind of ethics given that extrapolate a little bit more on the home of the Prophet ﷺ. But this is one of the most beautiful verses in the Quran in terms of just the symmetry that it offers, answering also the question that understands equity amongst the genders in our religion. And when a brother Alma recites this verse, really listen to it because it's giving qualitative understandings of what it is that's pleasing to the divine. So what the Quran does quite often is it goes from the particular and it introduces the universal. It went from the Prophet's wives and now it's speaking to all of us all together. And it's saying that there's no barrier. Men and women both are able to access this type of virtue. And it's telling you the qualities, the characteristics. None of this is talking about how wealthy somebody is. None of it's talking about how many children somebody has. None of it's talking about how many grandchildren or how many rooms are in a house or how many cars are driven or what logos are on a shirt. But the characteristics that are being talked about here are rooted in terms of integrity, truthfulness, faith, patience, resilience. May Allah make us from amongst those who embody these characteristics. And the mechanism from the particular to the universal that's being illustrated here is that the output of the engagement of the act of worship, it should be yielding for you these types of qualities. Like if I pray Fajr every day and I'm still a jerk, there's something wrong with the way I pray Fajr. You see? And that's not anything other than truth. My heart's transformation is supposed to be the product of these practices. And if I'm starting to understand for myself, well, like, what does it mean to be a good man or a good woman? Here's the qualities that I want to start to think about. A deep recognition and understanding that Allah is giving it to us. And as an access point, there's no distinction. The only variable that's going to come into play is going to be that of taqwa. And you want to see it not just as linguistic poetics, even though it's one of the most beautifully structured verses. And when you hear it, just really hear it. This 35th verse. And just in the interest of time, if we go to Surah Al Hashr, this is the 59th chapter of the Quran. And Omar is going to read from the last page of this. So if you look at the 18th verse of this, some of you might be familiar with this verse, right? Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu says, "O people of Iman, may Allah make us from amongst them." And then it tells us to have taqwa of Allah. May Allah make us from the muttaqeen. And then it says, وَلْتَنْظُرْ نَفْسٌ مَا قَدَّمَتْ لِغَدٍ, that each individual should be in a place where they're looking to what actions they've set forth for tomorrow. Faith in our tradition is not categorized just in having abstract belief. But belief in our tradition is rooted in inventorying actions that we do in terms of accountability on a day of judgment. May Allah grant us ease on that day. Does that make sense? So when you're standing on this night, you have to understand that this night has the ability to echo eternally. But every single day and night has the ability to do that. And the opportunity for us to have presence and mindfulness rooted in this verse. Allah is aware of all that you do. Whether you are aware of it or not doesn't necessarily make the difference, even if it's unconscious and instinctive and it just comes out an emotional onslaught, it's still coming from me. My ability to think about the deeds that move forward, the actions that I carry with me. A lot of the stuff just gets left in the world. You don't get to take the stuff with you. The only thing that goes with us is the a'mal, like the actions, the choices, what it is that makes this world what it is. And when we recognize that we are created beings, but we're created for eternal existence, may Allah make us people of Jannah. What this chapter is looking at the beginning is a lot of historical context, but it's drawing its reader through about 24 verses to an end that talks about the ultimate reality. And all Allah is going to talk about at the end of it is for us to understand Him a little bit better. And so as you move through the latter parts of these verses, in verse 19, it creates a very interesting understanding about the relationship between those who forget Allah and how they are then made to forget themselves. That if you are in a place where you have ease of forgetting the divine, What the verse is giving insight to is then you are deconstructing yourself on a whole. And to remember Allah is to remember yourself in essence. So I'm not able to be completely whole if I move through this world in a state of heedlessness, ghafla, the way most people work in just default settings, bodies moving, but not with a presence of mind. So that dhikr that is meant to be paired with that first verse that says, what are you sending forth tomorrow? Most of us are not filling books that with, did you just tickle my head? Can you imagine, man? Really? What a beautiful kid, right? What must somebody possess inside that they would even think to strike the face of a child? May Allah protect us from this. I don't care what culture you're from. You know how many adults I've sat with who try to justify what is unjustifiable? When I was little, my parents did this, but that's just culture. No, it's haram. And the kid that you are is still living inside of you. Do you see? These verses are important to understand because they're giving us a sense of recognition as we get to the end of it. If you look at its 21st verse, and it talks about the Quran descending upon a mountain. The mountain in the Quran is seen as this structure that is massive and it is just resolute and it has the inability to be brought down. And the Quran is going to make the mountain crumble if the Quran descended upon it. When we think about the responsibility that's given to humanity to be recipient of the Quran, and it speaks about our capacity to be able to take revelation in this way. That's one way that you could think about this. But the other way to think about it is that the immovable creation, that's a mountain, that the Quran speaks about, these mountains are what hold the earth steady. It gets crushed and crumbles at the recitation of the Quran. So why does my heart not get moved in any way when the Quran is presented in front of me? That something that's as massive and immovable as a mountain can be brought down, but nothing in me falters or even changes. We don't want to just be reciters of the book. We want to be doers of the book, right? May Allah make us those who act on what these words tell us. And as you go through it towards its end, it's offering an insight now that's important to understand. Because if I pass the mic around to most of us in this room and I said, who is God to you? Not just rhetorically or regurgitating different things that you might have heard somebody else say in a reel or a TikTok. But if I said to you, tell me with deep intimacy, who is the divine to you? Most of you would have no idea where to even start. That's not a challenge, but when religion has a hyper legalized focus, and you think the whole point of it is to be precise and have these postures of prayer that you engage in, you're still praying to someone at the end of the day. And here you're going to see that Allah is being described in important ways for us to understand who the divine is. He is the one who has knowledge of the seen and unseen, very distinct and other from humanity. And that gets juxtaposed to him being Rahman and Rahim. He's compassionate. He is merciful. Rahma doesn't function in mercy the way if you go through a red light and you get a ticket and you tell the cop, don't give me the ticket. And that's what mercy is. Rahma has its own element of love and softness and gentleness and kindness and compassion and mercy. All of that's being evoked and more when we say Rahman. It talks about Allah as the sovereign. It talks about Allah as the source of peace and serenity. It talks about Allah as the one who is free from any blemish. He is the guardian over all of us, the compeller, the truly great. That He is our creator. From Him is all things. And then it's telling us at the end that everything in the heavens and the earth glorifies Him. The only thing in creation that's been given the ability to choose or to resist that glorification is us. When most of the world doesn't function the way that it's supposed to, it's usually because humanity isn't really being good at being human. And when we have choice and responsibility that ties all of these verses together, you could do whatever you want to do, man. You're just going to have to explain why you did it that way. And it's not just about what I did and did not do, but had the ability to do and still didn't get it done. As he's reciting these verses, let them really penetrate your inside. Go home and spend some time in reflection, contemplation. Tafakkur is what's being offered as a counsel through these verses, that you're reflecting on them and how it is that it applies back to me. And inshallah ta'ala, we'll be able to find resonance from Allah's book and let ourselves be in a place where we start to embody what it is that the book is offering to us for our own benefit. Let's make dua before we stand in Qiyam. Allahumma ameen. اللهم لك الحمد كما ينبغي لوجهك وعظيم سلطانك. لك الحمد حمدا طاهرا طيبا مباركا فيه لا يوم الدين. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد في الأولين وفي الآخرين. اللهم إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا. يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك. اللهم اجعلنا من المخلصين. اللهم اجعلنا من المخلصين. اللهم اجعلنا من المخلصين. We begin this supplication in your name, Ya Allah, and beseech you to send your choicest salutations upon your most beloved, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. We ask that you shower your infinite mercy upon this gathering, granting each and every one who is present herein and our loved ones only the best in this world and the best in the next. We begin in your name, Ya Rabbi, our creator, the knower of what is hidden and what is revealed. On this sacred night of Ramadan, we gather before you with hearts that are hopeful, hearts that are searching, hearts that know that only you can fill what feels empty within us. Ya Allah, you have brought us through days of fasting and nights of prayer. You have carried us through moments of strength and moments where we struggled. And still, out of your mercy, you have allowed us to arrive at another night of Ramadan, a night that may hold forgiveness, a night that may hold transformation, a night that may hold a mercy greater than we can imagine. So we turn to you now with humility and with hope. Ya Rabbi, you tell us in your book to be mindful of you and to look at what we have sent forward for tomorrow. Tonight we pause in that reflection. We pause and we ask ourselves, what have we truly sent ahead of us? What acts of compassion will greet us when we meet you? What prayers will stand beside us when we stand alone before you? Ya Allah, allow this night to be a moment of honest reckoning for our hearts. Let us look within ourselves, not with despair, but with a hope that your mercy is greater than our mistakes. Ya Allah, do not make us amongst those who forget you and therefore forget themselves. Protect us from a life of heedlessness. Protect us from hearts that grow distant from remembrance. Protect us from being so busy with the world that we lose sight of our purpose within it. Instead, make us people of true dhikr. Make us people who remember you when things are easy and when things are difficult. Make us people who remember you in private and in public. Make us people whose tongues speak your praise and whose heart feels your presence. Ya Allah, restore clarity to our hearts through remembrance of you. Tonight we reflect upon the household of your beloved Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, a home in which revelation descended, a home in which your words were recited, a home that became a sanctuary of remembrance and devotion. Ya Allah, grant us homes that carry even a small reflection of that light. Make our homes places where prayer is honored. Make our homes places where kindness is practiced. Make our homes places where children grow up hearing your name with love. Remove from our homes harshness and resentment. Replace it with mercy, patience, and understanding. Ya Allah, just as you honored the household of your prophet with closeness to revelation, Allow our families to be people who live close to your guidance. Make us people who live with sincerity. Make us amongst the believing men and believing women. Make us amongst the truthful men and truthful women. Make us amongst the patient men and patient women. Make us amongst the humble men and humble women. Let our faith not just be something we claim, but something that shapes how we treat others, how we speak, how we forgive, and how we love. Ya Allah, purify our hearts. Remove arrogance from our hearts. Remove envy from our hearts. Remove resentment from our hearts. Replace those qualities with sincerity, compassion, and humility. Ya Rabbi, teach us to submit to your wisdom even when it challenges our comfort. Teach us to trust your plan even when we cannot see where the path leads. Allow us to follow the examples of your messenger, not only in ritual, but in character. Let us carry patience like he carried patience. Let us carry mercy like he carried mercy. Let us carry compassion like he carried compassion. Ya Allah, you describe your beloved Prophet as a witness, a bearer of glad tidings, and a luminous lamp. Illuminate our lives with that light. Let that light guide us through moments of confusion. Let that light guide us through moments of doubt. Let that light guide us through moments when the world feels dark. Ya Nur, you who is the light of the heavens and the earth, place light into our hearts. Place light in our intention. Place light in our words. Place light in our actions. Ya Allah, you told us that if this Quran were revealed upon a mountain, it would crumble in awe of you. And yet sometimes our hearts remain unmoved. So soften our hearts tonight. Let the verses we hear tonight penetrate deeply into our souls. Let every ayah we recite shape who we become. Let every prostration bring us closer to you. Do not allow us to hear your words without transformation. Ya Allah, you are the sovereign, the holy, the source of peace, the guardian, the mighty, the compassionate, the merciful. You are the one who knows the secrets we cannot speak aloud. You are the one who sees the tears that fall when no one else is watching. You are the one who understands the burdens we carry in silence. So we bring those burdens to you tonight. Ya Allah, bring peace to the hearts that are restless. Bring healing to the hearts that are broken. Bring comfort to those who feel alone. Bring hope to those who feel lost. And Ya Allah, forgive us. Forgive us the prayers we rushed. Forgive us the moments we chose anger over patience. Forgive the times we turned away from opportunities to do good. Forgive the blessings we overlooked. Ya Allah, accept from us the small acts we offer tonight and magnify them through your mercy. Accept our fasting, our recitation, our charity, our standing in prayer. As we prepare to stand before you in the stillness of this night prayer, allow our standing to be sincere. Let our hearts be present. Let our recitation be reflective. Let our prostration be filled with closeness to you. Ya Allah, make this night a turning point in our lives. Let someone who came tonight with a heavy heart leave with peace. Let someone who came tonight feeling distant from you leave feeling close to you. Let someone who came tonight seeking forgiveness leave with their sins erased. Ya Allah, allow the light we find tonight to remain with us after Ramadan ends. Let it guide us in our homes, in our work. Let it guide us in how we treat every person we encounter. And when the day comes that we return to you, allow the deeds we sent forward to greet us with mercy. Allow the prayers we offer tonight to stand beside us. Allow the tears we shed tonight to testify for us. And allow for us to be amongst those who hear the words of welcome into your mercy. Ya Allah, accept from us, guide us, forgive us, draw us nearer to you. For a moment now, just turn within yourself. Make your own dua. Recognize that you were brought here for a purpose, and that your Lord is Kareem. He is generous. He looks for a reason to accept, man, not for a reason to push away. Don't place human qualities upon your Creator. Move aside anyone who has mistreated you, judged you, told you that you weren't good enough. And understand that you are, in fact, somebody because Allah chose in His wisdom to make you, and there is nothing without meaning in His plan. Ask of Allah to help you to see yourself the way that He sees you, from your heart and what that heart produces. Think about those people who struggled for you, sacrificed for you, did for you, and had they not, you might not be where you are today. Most importantly, make dua for yourself. But for a few moments, just turn within as you stand at the threshold of a night of blessing and barakah, unlike any other night that this year offers to us. Just make your own dua before we end our collective prayer together. Ya Allah, accept our dua. Ya Allah, accept our dua. Ya Allah, accept our dua. Ya Allah, by the barakah of this gathering, accept our dua. Ya Allah, by the presence of the righteous that are here, accept our dua. Ya Allah, by the sincerity of the most sincere that are here, accept our dua. Ya Allah, by the blessings of this beautiful month of Ramadan, accept our dua. Ya Allah, before we stand, we lift up in prayer our sisters and brothers who are going through so much difficulty in the world right now. Ya Allah, make things easy for the people of Palestine and the occupation, the genocidal violence. Make us a generation that witnesses a free Palestine in our lifetime. Ya Allah, make things easy for our sisters and brothers in Sudan, our sisters and brothers in Iran and in Lebanon, all those who are impacted by yet another iniquitous and unjust war that is taking place. Ya Salam, descend your divine peace on this world that is sorely in need of it, and make each one of us always instruments of your peace in this world, a peace that does not compromise injustice in any way. A special dua, Ya Rabbi. Our brother Ibad has asked that we make dua for his dear friend Sayyid Aurangzeb, who is critically ill in this moment. We ask, Ya Allah, that you grant him a complete healing and shifa, a quick and easy recovery, that you make this ailment a means of purification in this world and a means of elevation in the next. And for all of us who have friends, loved ones, people that are dear to our heart, who are experiencing any kind of illness, be it physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual, Ya Allah, we ask that you grant them healing for all of it. Protect us always from hearts that are not humble, tongues that are not wise, and eyes that have forgotten how to cry. Forgive us for our shortcomings and guide and bless us all. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه محمد وآله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Barakallahu fikum. People want to line up. Inshallah, Omar is going to lead us in some rak'ahs of Qiyam.
It's fine.
Try to see how loud it is.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. I think it's